Part 1. The Age of Harmony *, long before the first sunrise warmed the void of space, and before the concept of time began to tick, there was only the Silver City. Heaven. It was not merely a place. It was a symphony of absolute perfection. Here, light was not just seen. It was felt, a living, breathing presence that wrapped all of creation in warmth. In this age of innocence, billions of angels moved in a synchronized dance, a spiraling ocean of white wings and golden halos. Circling the blinding radiance of the throne, and standing at the very pinnacle of this celestial host, were two figures. The twin pillars of the Creator's design. First, there was Michael, the warrior, the strength of God, with hair like flowing sunlight and a face etched with steadfast loyalty. He was the unshakable foundation upon which the peace of heaven rested, and beside him stood Lucifer, the morning star, the light bringer. To look upon him was to witness the absolute apex of beauty. His armor was forged from diamonds and white gold, and his 6 massive, pristine wings shone brighter than any nebula. He was the masterpiece of creation, radiating an intelligence and glory that left even the seraphim in awe. They were not just commanders, they were brothers. They soared together through the cosmos, wingtip to wingtip, watching the birth of galaxies. Lucifer would play the golden harp, and Michael would listen, their bond forged in the fires of eternity. In this golden age, there was no word for war. There was no concept of betrayal. It was only ... harmony. Part 2. The seed of rebellion, but perfection is a fragile thing. The disruption began not with a roar, but with a whisper. The Creator unveiled a new design in the High Council. A beam of light projected a vision of a small blue sphere, Earth, and upon it, a creature made not of fire and spirit, but of dust and clay. Humanity, the decree echoed from the throne. Behold my children. Love them. Serve them. Protect them. Michael looked down at the vision of the first humans with a sense of duty and love. He saw their fragility and vowed to be their shield. But Lucifer recoiled. He looked at the mud-born creatures, struggling in the dirt. Then, he looked at his own hands, glowing with the power of 1,000 suns. Indignation, cold and sharp, took root in the heart of the morning star. He turned away from the vision, his magnificent wings twitching in irritation. Michael placed a hand on his shoulder, offering a brother's comfort. But Lucifer stood stiff, his heart hardening. He withdrew to the rare shadows of the Silver City. There alone, he stared at his own reflection. The seed of narcissism began to bloom. He whispered to the silence, his voice dripping with pride. Why? We are fire. We forged the stars. Why must the lion bow before the sheep? I will not serve the dust. Part 3. Sowing discord, the whisper became a poison. Lucifer moved among the legions, his voice seductive and charismatic. He spoke to the angels not of evil, but of dignity. Do you not feel it? He asked them, standing upon a throne of clouds. We are the true sons of God. Why should we be servants? Imagine a heaven where we make the laws. A heaven where you are the gods? Slowly, the harmony of the choir began to fracture. A schism formed. Dark storm clouds, a sight never before seen in heaven, began to gather over the crystalline spires. 1/3 of the host turned their gaze from the throne to the morning star. Michael watched the gathering storm with deep sorrow. He stood on the great bridge of light, stepping forward to confront his brother. The two armies stood behind them, a sea of gold, facing a rising tide of pale, cold ambition. Michael looked at Lucifer, seeing the mockery in his brother's smile. He pleaded, his hands open. Brother, look at what you are doing. You are unraveling existence itself. Turn back. But Lucifer's eyes, once the color of the divine sky, now held the first flicker of red madness. He drew a weapon of dark, jagged energy. I have grown beyond you, Michael, Lucifer sneered. I will ascend. I will not serve. Part 4. The confrontation, the line was drawn. Lucifer raised his dark blade, pointing it at Michael's throat. The tension in the air was heavy enough to crush stars. Michael closed his eyes. A single tear, glowing like liquid light, traced a path down his cheek. He grieved not for himself, but for the brother he was losing. But when his eyes snapped open, the sorrow was locked away. In its place burned the blue fire of righteous justice. He drew his sword, blade forged from pure, concentrated starlight. "Then let it be," Michael whispered. "If you will not serve the light, you cannot remain within it." With a roar that shook the firmament, the two sides collided. The impact of their blades created a shockwave that shattered the peace of eternity. The Silver City erupted into chaos. Golden feathers mixed with black, raining down like a sorrowful snowstorm. The spires of crystal crumbled as the war in heaven began. Lucifer fought like a whirlwind of destruction. He was a blur of terrifying beauty, cutting down loyal angels with savage fury. But standing firm against the tide, blocking the path with a shield of blue energy, was the wall of God. Michael. Asterisk Part 5. The war in heaven, the battle raged across the dimensions. It was a kaleidoscope of violence, gold against shadow, duty against desire. Lucifer screamed in rage, his face contorted, no longer the serene angel of old. He unleashed spells of consuming darkness, trying to swallow the light. Michael countered, soaring high into the upper atmosphere, his sword piercing the shadows with blinding strikes. They locked in combat, face to face, blade against blade. "You're weak," Lucifer roared, kicking Michael with the force of a collapsing star. Michael crashed into a celestial tower, debris flying into the void. Lucifer spread his 6 wings wide, blocking out the sun, triumphant. But Michael rose from the rubble. His armor was dented, but his spirit was unbreakable. His sword began to glow with a blinding intensity. He charged. With a strike faster than thought, Michael shattered Lucifer's dark blade into a billion particles of dust. Lucifer stared at his broken weapon in shock. Before he could recover, Michael struck him across the face with the hilt of his sword, a heavy, physical blow that rang like a funeral bell. Asterisk Part 6. The defeat, Lucifer fell to his knees on the clouds, coughing up golden ichor. The rebellion paused. The silence returned, heavy and cold. Michael stood over him, his starlight sword pointed at the neck of the fallen prince. Lucifer looked up. For the first time, there was fear in his eyes, and hate. Pure, distilled hate. Michael pointed his hand toward the edge of the precipice. The clouds beneath Lucifer cracked open, revealing a swirling, endless abyss of darkness below. Lucifer tried to stand, to fight, but an invisible weight pinned him down. "You are the morning star no more," Michael pronounced, his voice echoing with divine authority. "You are the adversary." A wave of blue energy surged from Michael. He pushed. Asterisk Part 7. The fall was agonizing as Lucifer tumbled from the grace of heaven. The holy atmosphere rejected him. His elegant armor turned black and rusted. His skin, once the fairest in creation, blistered and charred, turning the color of Ashdod in his wings. His magnificent, pristine white wings, ignited. They burned away in the friction of his descent, revealing the leathery, tattered wings of a beast. He screamed a sound of pure loss that echoed for 9 days, and 9 nights as he fell through the stars. Behind him, millions of his followers fell like a rain of dying meteors, a stream of corruption heading into the dark. They crashed into a desolate world, a place of fire, ash, and magma. The impact shook the foundations of the deep, creating a crater of eternal fire. Part 8. Hell and the aftermath from the ashes of the crater. He was no longer Lucifer. He was Satan. He rose, his skin charred gray, his eyes burning with red malice, horns protruding from his brow. He looked at his clawed hands. He looked at the hellscape around him. He looked at his fallen brothers, now twisted into monstrous demons, crawling from the lava. He raised his eyes to the tiny, distant speck of light that was heaven. He knew the gates were closed forever. A cruel, jagged smile cut across his scarred face. "The battle for heaven is lost," he rasped, his voice like grinding stones. "But the war is not over," turned his gaze away from the sky and toward the vision of the earth, toward the innocent humans in the garden. "If I cannot strike the Creator," he whispered, "I will destroy what he loves. I will corrupt them." High above, on the edge of the Silver City, Michael stood watch. His sword was sheathed, but his hand rested upon it, ready. He watched the darkness gather below. The first war had ended. The eternal war for your soul had just begun.
The war is not over.